Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 3rd January in 2021. It's the VCO Chat Show, and we have really come out kicking over the last couple of weeks. Tonight, we're going to chat to the winner of the first round of the BMW GT Cup on iRacing. After a spectacular performance from Team Redline, it's Gianni Vecchio who joins us this evening, and another profile evening. Gianni, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you very much. It was a nice evening yesterday after the race, and yeah, was a good one. We had a lot of fun. Also, we took the win home, we took the money home, we took the tickets to Munich home. So it was a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did it over your teammates Max Verstappen and Danny Yucadella, two real-world drivers with amazing pedigree. That must feel extra good.
Obviously, it's extra good to beat like a name like Verstappen or Juncadella. Even better when we are both on the same setup, same car, which is even better. But yeah, in the end, I would say it was a big team effort because obviously you saw us in the race the first hour. We had a few strategy, we had some good few tactics that we were playing all the time. But yeah, in the end, it's good to take the win. But even though it was, as I said, a big team effort.
And as you say, you racing with Team Redline, that obviously made a big difference last night.
Yeah, a big one. I mean, we like the effort we put into that. The amount of hours the guys practiced. Like me and John, we didn't practice that much because we had some other stuff going on. But big thanks to the team because as a whole team we managed that. We built the setup as a team. We made the strategy as a team. So because we are in that much of a big team and because we have that's high profile guys behind the scenes, that was basically that. We had the perfect circumstances to make that win possible. Yeah.
As you know, Gianni, I'm sure you've watched a VCO chat show before. We like to delve deeper into the drivers and understand exactly where they came from and what makes them tick. So we're going to rewind back to the early days of your life and your kind of fandom of motorsport. Where did you first kind of learn about motorsport in general?
Yeah, obviously Formula One. I think my first big memory of Formula One was, I think, somewhere 2003, 2004, when I was 5 or 6 years old. I was a big Michael Schumacher fan. And yeah, I started watching F1. Obviously, my grandpa back then also watched DTM, which was also a big part of my growing up years where I watched so much motorsport. And yeah, then I learned more about it. I learned about the GP2 back then. I learned about all the GT3 series races that are going on. And yeah, I sadly never got the chance to, go karting and stuff. But thanks to sim racing, thanks to iRacing, I got the possibility to really make one of my dreams come true. Like not in the real world, but in the virtual world, to become a pretty good guy and to race along the best drivers of the world, which is pretty cool.
And how did you first come about knowing that it was possible even to race online against other human beings in a virtual world?
Yeah, I started with the F1 games. I think F1 2013 was one of my first games, obviously on the controller. And yeah, then I found out about there's actually wheels to play those kind of games. Then I bought a wheel. I think it was a Driving Force GT back then for €50. And I bought it. I drove with, I came home from school. The first thing I did, I fired up the PlayStation 3 and I just did laps all day long. And then, yeah, I think the years went by. And then I think late 2015, I was looking for something bigger because, the F1 games were cool, but it was not the big deal. And I found out about iRacing from some guys in the German community. It's SimRC. It's a well-known team in iRacing these days. I found out about iRacing. I signed up, did my first races. The first one were massive shunts mostly. And but then, iRacing was pretty cool. I got used to it. I got even better and better. And that's how I pretty much started in iRacing the first year. And then over the time, I spent some time with SimRC. Then I was looking for something bigger. Then I contacted Max Benecke to join Pure Racing Team. We had a great time there for nearly 2 years, and then in late 2019, someone like Dom Duhan, Max Verstappen, and Atze Kerkhoff knocked at our doors. And I mean, you can't really turn that offer down. That we merged together with Team Redline, and I mean, since we merged together with them, it was like such a big, like, it was an adventure really, because at the beginning, you know, I had no idea what was coming for us, and the last year was amazing. And you know, to start 2021 with like this win together with Max, with Danny, all the guys, it can't get much better, to be honest.
Tell us the difference between Pure and Redline, and just, you know, in terms of success, Pure was an incredibly great team, but the difference in organization and size must be a very different thing for you now.
Yeah, true. Like in Pure Racing Team, it was like more of a group of friends. I mean, we all understand, we all can like be with each other pretty good. Like we know us for a couple of years. We know how each other is like we know the character of each other. It was like more of some friends who managed a team together. And obviously we had the Pure Driving School going at the same time, so it was also like probably like mostly the same guys who managed that one. But as I said, it wasn't like we practiced together. We had you know, there was like not really much to think about it. Like we said, we got to practice, and then we started to host sessions, doing laps. But then when we merged together with Team Redline, it was like a big difference. Like it was basically black and white. So, for example, like we went to Team Redline, then we had like managers, we had guys who looked after telemetry, we had like a big organization basically behind it, because Team Redline is not only in iRacing, it's like Gran Turismo, Assetto Corsa with the V10R League last year, R Factor 2 obviously with Kevin Siggy being one of the best bands there, and yeah, there's like so much stuff. F1 Esports, I won't forget about this one. But yeah, it's like a big organization. There were like way more guys behind everything. Obviously, like the time we had to spend doing labs, doing practice, it got a bit more. But in the end, I mean, it's more rewarding, because like we won a pretty good amount of stuff last year. I think we won Daytona, Bathurst, Nürburgring, and then Max won a couple of PESC races. Then last year, the first round of the VCO Pro Series, for example, we won it as well. And yeah, it's really rewarding if you do that much of stuff and then you get the wins for it. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's basically a whole amount of guys standing behind you and helping you and getting you to perform even better. That's the big difference behind it.
And for you, what's kind of been your highlight in terms of performance in your iRacing career so far?
The BMW 121 from yesterday is like is basically really on the top. I'm pretty proud of that. I also, like last year, I won the Italian iRacing Championship. That was pretty cool as well. I don't know what is the number one. I would say it's not really an achievement, but like to make sure that we as a team won in 2018 or 2019. No, 2018. We won as a team. We won all special events on iRacing, and that was, for me personally, that was one of the biggest achievements that you can possibly manage, because having like I think it was over 60 hours of driving time, we managed to do not a single mistake and win every single event, which is like, in my opinion, one of the best things you can achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is so much about those tiny little errors that cost you so much in sim racing, because there really isn't anything else to kind of trip you up other than yourselves and perhaps traffic in some of the races. You've always stuck to iRacing in terms of your professional career, if you like. Have you ever been tempted by trying other things?
Yeah, lately I was a bit into R Factor 2. I think there was some weeks ago, there was this release event about the Spa track, where I think with all GTE cars.
Oh yeah.
I was a bit into that. I did some practice laps with Rudy van Buren, with Kevin Siggy. Obviously, I'm not that good yet in the other platform, because it's like a different driving style. You have to approach things differently. But I'm really interested in doing so, and there's something planned for this year to get, like, for myself to get involved more into R Factor 2. And yeah, we will see. R Factor is like pretty interesting. There's F1 Esports, which is, yeah, I mean, to be involved in an actual F1 team is pretty cool, but I mean the hours of grinding that I saw from guys like Marcel Kiefer, which I'm pretty good with, or Freddie Rasmussen, is like, I don't know. I don't even want to imagine how much hours they put into this game, or like into their go-to simulation in this case. I don't want to know how many hours they put into it, but it would be pretty cool to maybe sometimes have the possibility to go this way as well. But for now, it's iRacing, because obviously iRacing is my go-to platform right now.
And it's a big challenge, isn't it, jumping from platform to platform? What are the main differences for you between iRacing and rFactor 2?
The difference is, like, in iRacing, it's obviously the tire models, the physics are different. I mean, there's some stuff that is the same, but there is some difference in braking, in the tire model, how you can approach the tires, how your driving style is dependent on how the tire works. For example, in iRacing, the driving style is more smooth. You don't really have to, like, fight the car, work the tires to get the fastest lap times out of it. In rFactor, so far, I had the feeling that you can push the car, but at the same time you can go fast as well, and also you can get more lap time out of the car when you really, like, try to push it. Like, for example, like back in the days, we in Germany, we always said when Lewis Hamilton started to, like, lock the tires on the entry of corners, you really could feel that he is pushing and that he goes faster. And I have kind of the same feeling for rFactor, that when you start to push really hard, you get more lap time out of it, and that's, like, a big difference from rFactor to iRacing, because the driving style is different. So, and also I have a huge respect. I have a huge respect for guys that manage to do both, to do rFactor and iRacing at the same time and being at the top level, like Rudy, for example, or Max when he did rFactor some time ago. I have a lot of respect for guys jumping in between platforms.
So is that kind of an ambition for you looking forward into the future, to be able to be a master of multiple platforms?
Obviously, you want to get better every day, and that's like a goal for me in 2021, to get into rFactor and to be successful on rFactor as well.
So what does the BMW SIM invitation, I suppose, mean to you, having won that first round? You say it's one of the biggest moments of your career so far. It qualifies you effectively into the world final at the end of the year, or which unfortunately this last year was at home rather than in a stadium, but hopefully the world sorts itself out so you can all go to Munich and enjoy a big party. Why is it so special?
Like for me, it's pretty special because, like, I'm from Bavaria, I'm from Ingolstadt, which is like 40 minutes from Munich away, and
but hang on, Ingolstadt's an Audi place. It's not a BMW place.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not a huge Audi fan in this case. I'm more into Munich and BMW. I'm not really into Audi. I don't know why. It's like maybe because I see too many Audis every day. That's why I'm getting fed up of them. But But you know, to win an event for BMW, for a brand that is based in Bavaria, and where I'm living like 40 minutes away from it, it's so cool in my opinion. And then to go to Munich again is even better, because, like, the culture is basically the same. The people think the same way, which is pretty cool. And I mean, 2 years ago in 2019, in the end of 2019, at the first BMW Sim Live event, I was already there, more of a, like, team member, because Max Benecke and Max Wennick drove, and me and Dominic Ferber were there as well. It was pretty cool. I mean, I saw what was going on there. I saw this was the first event, and I was like, okay, if this is the first event, which was pretty cool, it can only get better. And then that is my ambition. I wanted to, last year as well, I wanted to qualify. Sadly, we didn't manage to do it, like me and John in this case. But to win the first race is like, it can't get better. You know, you got the ticket. You already know in December, probably it's going to be a pretty cool time to drive on one hand, drive against the best drivers on the platform or in the world, basically. And on the other hand, to have a good time again with all the team members, to be there, enjoying the time with the guys from BMW. And I can't wait for it. And also to be, as I said, winning the first race, you already got the ticket. You can get more relaxed into the other races, but still be competitive. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool to be able to tick that box so early in January, and as you say, kind of now start focusing on new things and other challenges. So where does it go from here? Obviously, you'll continue to participate in the GT Cup, but you've won effectively. So what do you focus on now?
Right now we got the Daytona 24-hour race this Saturday, which is like for now the biggest goal. And then I mean, after that there's like a kind of a gap between the next race. I think the next main race is going to be the Sebring 12-hour. No, I think Bathurst is first. Yeah, Bathurst is first. And in between, I mean, for me personally, it's like it's important to get as much success out of the team as possible. And maybe we are going to like help Patrick, Chris, Alex, and Max in the PESC, maybe to help them with the setup, help them with the performance. And then we also got the Sports Car Open, which is a private league on iRacing where we competed. And I think the last race was on Saturday. We took third place. And at the same time, we took the championship lead in the GT class, which is pretty cool as well. So a lot of stuff is going on. After Daytona, there's some kind of a, like more calm time. But behind the scenes, we will non-stop, practice, getting more performance out of it, and getting better and better.
And do you ever just go on iRacing for fun and do some silly things like, I don't know, oval racing, dirt racing, rallycross? They're not silly things, they're just fun, different things.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's pretty funny that like me, Max, Verstappen, Patrick Holzman, and so on, we are sometimes just randomly locked into some Indy fixed races on the oval, and just do races there when we are feeling it, when we got the time for it. That's pretty fun as well. But normally there's not really much time. I mean, the last few weeks were pretty. We're pretty packed with like a lot of practice which was scheduled, but when we got the time, I mean, for sure we jump into races, do the races for fun, and maybe if you do an Indy fixed race and me, Patrick, and Max are shunting each other, it's cool as well.
All right, cool. That's a good tip for anybody on iRacing. Look out for those names. I'm doing them a lot. The one around Monza is particularly nuts. Like the idea of taking a modern Indy car around the Monza Oval just blows my mind. But it's fun.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, like the oval on Monza is so bumpy, and then you have like the new IndyCar, which is like I don't know what the ride heights are or how stiff the car actually is. But to be honest, I don't want to have that in real life, to go in this kind of car over such a bumpy oval. I don't know if I would feel my back after even one lap anymore. It's an almost impossible situation, I think. But it's a good one actually to suggest to the bosses of the VCO Pro Sim series, because we do like to do the fun races and they're a bit crazy, and maybe that's a good one for the future. If you're listening, bosses, there you go. There's our tip. Hey, Gianni, I had a question for you that I completely forgot at the very start. You're obviously German, Ingolstadt, but when I saw your name on the entry list, it's very Italian. True. It's very Italian because my dad is from Italy, Sicilia, from Catania to be kind of exact. And my dad is Italian, my mom is German.
Place.
I speak, in summer it's beautiful. My dad speaks Italian. I speak Italian as well. I got both IDs, so I have the German and the Italian ID. So which is pretty cool, like to grow up with two languages. Also it makes like a lot of stuff easier. I mean, when I learned English at school, it was even better to understand everything with my Italian background, because a lot of words or the grammar is nearly the same. There's some stuff you can adapt from Italian to English. That's pretty cool, yeah. That's why the name is pretty Italian, but I'm living in Germany, yeah.
And you don't have any kind of Italian fandom towards Italian marks of car, or now talking about the BMW, you sound like a super BMW fan. I'm like my dream car to go for is obviously a Ferrari, a Ferrari 458. Okay.
My dream car to ever have. But I'm like mostly into like German cars, because I don't want to sound ignorant, but we in Germany, we build the best cars with BMW, Audi, Mercedes, and Porsche. But I'm like BMW and Mercedes are my go-to cars here in Germany, which I like the most. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of Audi, but as I said, Ferrari is the dream car.
I have to stop you. I really, really hope that there's nobody in Ingolstadt watching this video right now, because I think you might have your house raided. Like everybody in Ingolstadt is where Audis are built. You have to like Audi if you're in Ingolstadt, surely.
Kind of. I mean, it's difficult because obviously you see Audis all the time, every day. You see A1s, A3s driving all the time around you. It's like, I don't know. I don't like to drive the exact same car, which someone else is driving. That's why I'm probably not a big Audi fan.
I always like to drive cars that nobody else has. Sometimes that means I have really bad cars. Sometimes that means I have some fun cars. But no, I totally understand you. One last thing I want to talk about. The big talking point, really, of the esports iRacing world right now. This whole brake dragging thing. Mm-hmm. What's your take on what's going on in Porsche Esports Super Cup right now?
Yeah, it's like pretty difficult because I'm not directly involved. I just hear and get the infos what the other guys who participate in the series are telling me. But yeah, it's a pretty tough topic because there were some, like, for example, last year when I qualified for the PESC, there were a time when we got banned because there's a certain paragraph in the sporting code which says you are not allowed to use some kind of weird tactics in the qualifying to make sure you get a better performance out of the car. And some guys, myself included, we did that because we thought it's not illegal because everyone was doing it. And then we got suddenly banned for 2 weeks because we did some stupid tactics, like we did burnouts, we did like sliding the car on the track to get heat into the tires and then have a better qualifying performance. And then we got banned last year and for a certain time, but we obviously we together with iRacing with a good communication, we sorted that out. We got unbanned and could continue our qualifying series, and then in the end we qualified. Then for the actual season, we had a gentleman agreement where we all agreed on it. Yep. We said, we don't do those tactics. We don't do any like weird stuff in qualifying. We just go out on the track, drive on normal outlap as fast as possible, or like however someone wants to do it, and then do the lap. That was the agreement last year. And I don't know how the guys thought about it this year, but maybe some guys didn't want to stick to that agreement anymore and used like those tactics, which in my honest opinion, in my personal opinion, I'm not cool with that, because I don't know why you would like break a gentleman's agreement which was in place last year. And like, it's not that there are like 40 new drivers in the series. It's like mainly the same drivers in the series from last year. And I don't get the idea or the thinking behind this point that you just suddenly break an agreement and just go your own way. That's like how I think about the situation. It's like pretty weird because there was some discussion with the iRacing officials. There were some gray areas in the rules, and yet right now it's a bit of a mess because like half of the grid is not doing it. The other half of the grid, which is like basically one or two teams, are doing it. And that's like that puts a bad light on the competition. I mean, we have like probably the 40 best sim races in this car right now, and then we got screwed over by a rule that is not existent, and then we have like this like completely screwed up quali. I mean, it's not cool to have like the current champion with Sebastian Job, with Sebi, like to qualify somewhere around P10, P15, when we all know he is one of the best guys in the car, and then he has to fight through the field because he has to overtake guys which are slower than him because he's the champion. Of course he's better than some guys. And same goes for Max Benecke or Patrick Holzman. They are suffering from this current situation where there is no real clarification of the rules, and that's like not good for the competition. It's not good for the fans to see that, because like when I was watching the first race and I suddenly saw P1 to P11 were the same team, I was like, what the heck is going on? Like this doesn't look very good, in my opinion. So I hope there will be some clarification soon about this to have an even playing field again, to see really the best guys battling it out, like Josh against Max, against Sebi, against Mitchell De Jong, against Graham Carroll. That's what I want to see. That's what the fans want to see. The fans don't want to see like Max Benecke and Job coming from P50 having to fight their way through the field and then maybe in the end have a chance to have a big fight with Josh, or that's my opinion about it.
Oh, thank you very much, Gianni. That's a very clear opinion, and I think It's going to be one that's going to be a talking point for the next couple of weeks, especially as the continuation of the Porsche Esports Super Cup plows on, basically, to get finished by April. Interestingly, next week on the VCO Pro Sim Series, the idea is that we're going to have a couple of different people and we're going to do a kind of an open discussion about the various big topics in esports right now. And of course, one of those will be just what we were talking about just now. So if you want to hear my opinion and a couple of other experts from around the esports world, then make sure you tune in to this time next Monday. And it'll be the first of our kind of expanded chat shows. But for the moment, a massive thank you to Gianni Vecchio, who has been incredibly open with us. Really interesting to chat to you. And most importantly, has that ticket to drive down the road down to Munich and spend the night with BMW in December of this year. So, Gianni, thank you again for joining us.
No problem. It was a pleasure to be here to talk to you. It was a real pleasure for me.
Cool. And again, good luck with everything for the rest of the season. I'm also participating in the Daytona 24 Hours at the weekend, but I think I might not be in the same split as you. So you guys have a great one.
Yeah, I mean, we will be in top split. Obviously, we want to fight for the overall win in LMP2, GT, maybe GT3. We don't know yet how we line up the teams, but yeah, we'll be sad to not see you in top split though.
I mean, I could do a bit of commentary, but I think I'll be in about split 25 or something like that. In fact, I need to do the rest of the week to get my I rating up because it's not good enough yet. But that's my focus. You guys have a great... I definitely need to stop doing indie races around Monza and focus on the LMP2.
True that.
Thank you very much, Gianni. Thank you very much to everybody for watching, and hope you have a great evening here on Monday. And we'll see you next week for a bit of an expanded chat show. Until then, bye-bye. Enjoy your racing.